It is perhaps the most grueling war of attrition in all of college hockey. The NCHC regular season, 24 games in arguably the nation's best league. It all starts tonight in Duluth for both North Dakota and UMD. Good evening, hockey fans, and welcome inside Amsoil Arena and our My9 Sports broadcast booth. I am Zach Schneider. Alongside me for this weekend series is former UMD defenseman Jason Watt. 5 times has North Dakota emerged victorious and hoisted the Penrose Cup. UMD, meanwhile, hasn't won a regular season conference title since they hoisted the WCHA's McNaughton Cup back in 92-93. Tonight, the slate starts fresh for both these teams, the Bulldogs and the Fighting Hawks, with their NCHC opener after about a month of non-conference opposition.
Yeah, very exciting night. Opener of NCHC, as you said. I think it's the best college hockey league in the country, top to bottom. Typically, the national title comes through this league. Always exciting to have North Dakota in town. Looking forward to an unbelievable weekend of hockey this weekend.
North Dakota is coming off a split last weekend, its first 2 road games of the season against Boston University, with 3 points and the overtime game-winning goal in Saturday's win for the Fighting Hawks. The sophomore Jackson Blake has enjoyed a red-hot start to his sophomore season, coming off an NCHC Rookie of the Year honor last year.
Well, it must run in the family because his father was an outstanding player at North Dakota and in the NHL, and Jackson is a very dynamic player, very dangerous, and he's a guy the Bulldogs are going to have to keep an eye on the whole weekend.
Lots was made this offseason about the newcomers to this UND program. 7 freshmen and 7 transfers in Grand Forks this season, but they've gelled early on en route to a 5-2-1 start. For UMD, it's also a sophomore who has stolen the headlines early. Ben Steeves last year, the first Bulldogs freshman with 20 or more goals since a guy named Brett Hull. He's followed that up with 7 goals through his first 9 games as a sophomore.
Yeah, he's dangerous from anywhere, Steeves. I mean, he gets the shot off quick. Really, he can score from anywhere. He's not afraid to shoot the puck. You always hear that about coaches. Hey, shoot the puck more, shoot the puck more. Not a problem with Ben Steeves. Again, that's a guy that North Dakota is going to have to keep an eye on, and will be fun to watch for our fans at home to keep an eye on number 6 as well.
Some different line combinations, different defensive pairings for Scott Sandlin's Bulldogs here tonight, but the same skaters available to the Bulldogs as were in their last weekend's 3-3 overtime tie against Minnesota. The big news, as it's been for a few weeks, no Dominic James, who is out for the year with an upper body injury. We turn now to our Kohler keys to the game tonight. First for the visitors, North Dakota.
Yeah, what North Dakota is going to want to do is match UMD's energy. UMD's the home team tonight, and typically that home team is going to come out fired up the first 10 minutes. UND is going to want to match the Bulldogs' energy. Also, they've got a pretty big defense core. They're going to want to play physical and assert their will against the Bulldog forwards down low, so look for that matchup tonight.
And our Kohler keys to the game tonight now for the home team, the UMD Bulldogs.
Well, tonight we're going to have strength on strength, weakness on weakness with special teams. Bulldogs have the 3rd-ranked power play in the country. UND is PK has been excellent at 85%, and again, UMD's PK struggled, and UMD's power play's only at a 15% clip. And then finally, Bulldogs are going to want to put together 3 solid periods. That's what Scott Sandlin's looking for.
It is a rivalry renewed. Again, we have a packed Amsoil Arena for the 2nd weekend in a row. We will drop the puck, the Fighting Hawks and the Bulldogs, right after this on My9 Sports. NCHC opener tonight between North Dakota and UMD. Thanks for joining us here from Amsoil Arena in Duluth. Tonight's game brought to you with the proud support of Essentia Health and Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC. The goaltending matchup tonight, a fun one for the visitors. It's a transfer senior, Ludwig Persson, who has played every minute of every game so far for the Fighting Hawks. He was the NCHC goaltender of the month in October. He's right now tied for the NCHC lead with 5 wins this season. His counterpart, Matthew Thiessen for UMD. He's made just 3 starts, but the most dynamic of those came last Saturday night. 47 saves in what ended as an overtime tie against the in-state rival Minnesota.
Thiessen was absolutely brilliant last weekend against Minnesota, particularly in that third period in overtime, Zach. Just some unbelievable saves to get the tie for UMD. And hopefully for Bulldog fans, he can continue that tonight.
Here we go, Bulldogs and Fighting Hawks, game 1 of 2 here in Duluth this weekend. This is Blake. We talked about him in the open. Almost turns the puck over in his defensive zone, but has it back now. He's on the top line alongside Reese Gaber and Owen McLaughlin. Now Pionk walks in for UMD, a shot that was blocked in front. That was McLaughlin who got in front of Pionk. Now it's Gaber, and his pass deflected into the UMD bench. Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team. She's Alexis Bass.
Former North Dakotian Luke Bass what it was going to take to win this game. He said, you have to outwork them. He then went on to say, we might not win games with all of our talent, but that's a blessing in disguise because we have to win by community. Matthew Thiessen also weighed in this week saying, we know what kind of team we are this year. We might not be a team that outskills or outwows opponents, but we know that nothing will come easy, especially in this league, something that UMD will face this week while they try to earn their first NCHC points of the season. Guys?
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis. These two programs built very similarly to one another, really, and as you might expect, the guys behind the benches, Scott Sandlin and Brad Berry, have a lot to do with that.
Yeah, they do. And again, we've talked about this in previous games, but the teams mimic, the personalities of their coaches, and we know that with Scott Sandlin. UMD teams tend to just play real even keel, whether they got a 2-goal lead or they're down, down by 2.
Smith cuts the puck off here at the half boards for UMD. He scored his first collegiate goal in that tie last Saturday night. Wraparound chance turned aside by Person. It comes to the near boards. Perron will double back for Abram Wiebe. Wiebe, one of 2 freshmen on the back end in the lineup tonight for North Dakota. The other 4 are transfers for the Fighting Hawks. They had all 8 new defensemen on their blue line coming into the year, but as I said in the pregame, it's worked out pretty well so far.
Yeah, brave new world of college hockey, right, with the transfer portal. Really rare to see a team of North Dakota stature to have 8 newcomers on their blue line, but so far so good for them.
Out to the blue line, held by UMD. Over the stick now of Dubinsky, who has to chase it back to center ice. It's picked off by Dylan James. He's cut off at the far side by Kyle Bettens of UMD, and it's back out to center ice. Into the UMD bench it goes, and a face-off here at center ice. Take a look at the stats for these two teams when they get the first goal. It's early yet, a small sample size, but that first goal so important, as we know in college hockey.
It really is, and I think it's big at home particularly to get the fans into it. That's what UMD's looking to do tonight is let's not get these people sitting on their hands too much tonight. Get that first goal, get North Dakota on their heels a bit, get off to a quick start. Definitely something the Bulldogs are looking for.
Nearly 2 minutes gone here in the opening period. The only shot on goal registered by the home Bulldogs. Bettens, along with Dubinsky, fight for it at the far side. It comes free, and now the North Dakota transfer, Luke Bass, will move it ahead. Looking for the other transfer on UMD's roster, that's Connor McMenamin. It comes back to Dubinsky. He's chased by Ben Strinden deep into the Bulldogs side of the ice. Bast ahead at the line, Mangini gets a tip on it, negates the icing. Back to get it is Bennett Smolik, the transfer from Minnesota State. He gives it ahead to Griffin Ness, who will clear it out to center ice for North Dakota. Strinden has it just poked away at the last second by Aaron Pionk. Of course, the younger brother of Neil Pionk, forever infamous among those in Grand Forks. Dumped in by Albrecht. Took a hit to get it in deep. Thiessen will cut it off, and it comes up the near boards. 3-on-1 battle. Pionk comes away from it. Ahead for Mangini at the UMD line. Now it's Johnson, 1-on-5 as he enters the zone. His teammates changing behind. He dumps in behind the goal of Person, and Smolik controls for North Dakota. Blake on the near side in the circle has a step, a centering pass, and Thiessen has to be sharp there. A bouncing puck. Jackson Blake almost threw it to the back door. Reese Gaber and Owen McLaughlin lurking.
Yeah, nice out by North Dakota on that, coming through the neutral zone with speed. Jackson Blake stays wide, caught that UMD defenseman in a little bit off his gap and almost had a straight line to the net. Fortunately, Thiessen able to come up with the save on that, but you can already see how dangerous Jackson Blake looms, and the Bulldogs are going to have to keep a little closer eye on him.
A little bit of a new look line in the last couple games for North Dakota as Cameron Berg comes off the top line in the center position, replaced by Owen McLaughlin. They slide Jake Schmaltz to the center in place of Louis Jamernick as well further down their line chart. So Brad Berry, just like Scott Sandlin, trying to find the right combinations here early in the year. But that top line, as he's got it constructed right now with Gaber, McLaughlin, and Blake, maybe as dangerous as any in the country.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, but look at who they played already. They played Boston University, they played Wisconsin, they played Minnesota. So they're fairly battle-tested even after 8 games. So, but yeah, interesting even with their record that Barry's still looking for some combinations.
Out to center ice it goes. The UMD fifth-year captain chases Reese Gaber, the North Dakota captain, back to center ice. The Hawks shoot it back in, and they'll change all 5 of their skaters. 4 minutes gone and a territorial opening to this NCHC contest. The shots just one apiece. Dubinsky from 200 feet away for UMD. Tipped into the zone by Ben Steeves. Hard into the wall goes Blake Biondi. He changed his number from 7 to 27 before last weekend's series against Minnesota. We'll talk more about that as the game progresses, but 27 in white. Out there is Hermantown native Blake Biondi. This is Steeves to the middle. This is Smith. 2-on-4 as they cross the line. The trailer is Bodnerchuk. Can't get it to him, and Perron will turn it the other way for North Dakota. That could be and is an icing here on the Fighting Hawks. We'll take a look at the NCHC preseason poll. North Dakota up there at number 2. Got the most first place votes of any team in the conference, but finishes at number 2. And UMD finishes 5th in that preseason voting among the media and other members of this NCHC conference.
Yeah, and that's a lot predicated on how things finished last year. I don't think there's much, jockeying a position from how things ended last year. I think UMD's definitely shooting for home ice in that first round. That's a huge advantage to not have to go on the road in that first round. So
quick save by Person as Pionk fired off the draw. His best save of the game so far. The big mover up is North Dakota. They finished 5th outside a home playoff spot for the first time in the conference's history last year. They finished 2nd. I talked with Midcoast Sports play-by-play announcer Alex Heinert earlier this week. He said that feeling's real in Grand Forks. The players heard about it all offseason. The community talked about it all offseason. This is a community that wanted their team to be better this year and maybe has not had to create the culture of we're the underdogs, we got to fight for it. They've been hearing about it. They don't want another 5th-place finish in Grand Forks.
They're not used to that in Grand Forks, and this team seems to have been making a statement the first 8 games, that's for sure. Be real fun to watch them this weekend and see what which North Dakota team we see.
Bast fires Jamernick the block shot. Bast on his own rebound. Got Person moving outside his crease. Goes into the far side corner. Continues to fight for it there. And Schmaltz moves it ahead. At the half boards, it's James. He's pressured by the forecheck of Jack Smith for UMD. And it's flipped to center ice by North Dakota. And that'll be another icing here on the Fighting Hawks. We'll talk more about the block shots about both these teams, but these two lead the league so far through 8-9 games in block shots. You saw a big one there from Louis Jamernick.
Yeah, we've already seen a couple from North Dakota paying the price, and that's a great sign if you're a coach. If teams are willing, if your players are willing to block shots, those are the little things that get you wins. That's really why, UMD was able to earn that tie last Saturday, was a lot of guys selling out and blocking shots in front of Thiessen. So we'll be looking for that on both teams tonight.
Offensive zone faceoff after the icing for UMD, but North Dakota wins it. They slide it ahead. This is James, the Red Wings prospect, fires it in on Thiessen and follows up on the rebound. Draws the ire of a couple Bulldogs for that. But nothing much coming, and a faceoff in the UMD zone.
So far, maybe a little bit of feeling out in this game. Not a lot of flow. Maybe one scoring chance there from Blake a couple shifts ago, but not seeing the ice tilt either way. thus far. And both goalies look sharp, look on top of their crease.
Person on that shot just a few moments ago from Aaron Pionk made the best save of the 4 turned in by these two goaltenders through the opening 6 minutes and change of this first period. Face off to the right of Matthew Thiessen in the UMD zone. Fourth line against fourth line. It's won by UMD. Joey Pierce, the Ely native, Hermantown High School graduate, moves it up through center ice. Back into the zone it goes. Abram Weeb flips back to UMD ice. Pierce to chase it. Forechecked by Griffin Ness. Slides it ahead at the line. This is Perkins for Johnson, who flips it behind the D. Mangini, the first one to go get it. Now Johnson behind the goal of Person. Tried to go back to the point. Pierce gloves it down, holds the zone, takes a hit, and gets it down in the corner. Johnson tried to whip it to the opposite point, but Gallatin forced to retreat to neutral. Tipped in now by Perkins, and UMD will change behind the play. Weeb, the Las Vegas Knights draft pick, directing traffic from behind his own goal. To Garrett Pike. Blake back to Weeb at the far side. He dumps it into the near corner. Giving chase is McLaughlin. Blake has it. Back to the point. Pearson. Long shot. Pad save. Thiessen. Rebound. Free in the slot. It's cleared away by Spicer. Spicer, the Grand Forks native. Played at North Dakota last season, but his first chance to play against his hometown team here in Duluth comes this weekend.
It's always fun if you're a kid like Spicer, who you get to play against the team you grew up watching. So he's a guy to keep an extra eye on tonight and see what kind of energy level he brings. But he's really been thrust into a bigger role with the injury to James, and he's done a real nice job. I know Coach Sandelin's very happy with his play the last few games. He's the youngest guy in the team at 19 years old. So, yeah, exciting for him to play against North Dakota.
We've been told a lot of Spicer family in the building for tonight's games. Nothing official, but 50 was a number that was thrown around a lot in the pregame. Olsen will flip it in, and he'll be the one to give chase. Zmolik, first one there for North Dakota. Moves it ahead for Logan Britt. Britt out to the line, but it's held there by Spicer momentarily. He retreats to center, and now we'll flip it to the far side corner. Steve's on the hunt for UMD. Takes a hit from Zmolik. Zmolik went down, but the puck underneath him. Biondi joins the fight for UMD, as does Gaber for North Dakota, and it's flipped out to center ice. That's all the way down, and another icing coming here on the visitors with 11:45 to go in the opening period.
What I've noticed so far is really good clean outs from both defensive cores. Nice D-to-D passes. The D on both teams look real comfortable tonight. Very sure of themselves handling the puck. Some D-to-Ds back to D. Quick ups to their forwards. Getting the puck to their forwards in good positions. Tape to tape. And that's really preventing a lot of offense, quite honestly, because neither team's really able to sustain much of a forecheck because both D cores are playing pretty well.
Sorting out who should be on the ice after that North Dakota icing. Hunter Johannes back to the bench, and now the face-off to the left of Ludwig Person. Won by Smith, but right to North Dakota, and this is Berg. Berg tried to move past Dubinsky. Nice stick from him, knocks the puck away and out to center ice. Perron. Jaden Perron, third-round draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes, maybe one of the most talented freshmen in the entire country. We're excited to get our first look at him, but they're excited about him in Grand Forks.
Yeah, they've got some real nice forwards with some skill, and their top two lines are formidable, and North Dakota's always deep anyway, so going to be fun to watch some of these names that we haven't seen before.
Perron chips it in from the blue line. Gallatin back to play it for UMD. Takes a big hit from Berg. Dubinsky now turns it over. Out in front. Perron, he scores! Right on cue. Jaden Perron, and North Dakota leads it 1-0.
Yeah, no sooner are we talking about him. Unbelievable play, finishes it, and you can see here, kind of a little fumble as we were talking about clean outs from the defenseman. UMD fumbling the puck behind the net, a turnover, and Perron makes no mistake about it and buries it upper left corner. Really a nice goal.
We mentioned Cameron Berg switched spots with Owen McLaughlin. Berg was the top line center. He makes a heck of a backhanded pass out to the slot there, sets up Perron. His first collegiate goal. No, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong column. His 5th goal of the season. I thought that sounded wrong. 5th goal of the season for Perron. And North Dakota on the board first. It's 1-0.
Yeah, no sooner did we talk about Perron and the defensemen being very sure in themselves. And, UMD with a costly turnover behind the net. And guys like that are going to make you pay for it, and they did.
Puck back in the UMD zone now. The shots all of a sudden 5-2 in favor of North Dakota. As in the past 90 seconds, the ice has tilted. Weeb with a long shot, tipped over the high glass and out of play. We will step aside. Jaden Perron as the Fighting Hawks up in the first period, 1-0 on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Just over 10 minutes to go here, first period. Perron's 5th of the year has UND up 1-0. Talked about the importance of that first goal. And at least some of the excitement here at Amsoil Arena is sucked out of the building with Perron's marker.
Yeah, just what we talked about at the beginning, and really North Dakota matched and even better that, coming out against the home team in that first 10 minutes, and they've got the 1-0 lead, and now UMD's chasing the game a bit.
Schmaltz in the corner, takes a hit from Darian Goetz, the Hermantown product. Back to the point it comes. This is Weeb. Tried to sidestep McMenamin, the transfer from Penn State for UMD. James has it. Tried to go to the middle point. That missed everybody, and back to North Dakota ice it goes. Smolik picks it up behind the goal. His pass ahead, picked off by Johnson. Kept in the line for a moment, but Strindon turns it the other way. Has a step on Bast. Into the corner. Centering pass knocked away by Bast. Strindon continues on. The puck to the far side, Mangini. Strindon has it back now. In the far corner to the point. Long shot off the pads of Thiessen and directed to the near boards. UMD reeling a bit in its own zone. Perkins will clear. And not far enough for icing. Smolik will have to play it. Smolik starts out. Ahead for McLaughlin. Philadelphia Flyers draft pick into the UMD zone. Gives back for Britt. He walks into the high slot. He scores! Logan Britt doubles the lead. North Dakota up 2-0.
Yeah, Logan Britt, grad transfer in the portal from Sacred Heart. And, he's put some points up in his career, and kind of a lanky, rangy defenseman. And that shot had eyes on it. He had a little bit of a screen in front and a nice wrist shot, upper corner. And right there, I think Blake got in the way a little bit just to put a little bit of a mini screen on. And nice goal for North Dakota. And they've got the 2-0 lead with a little under 9 minutes left here in the first. Not the start the Bulldogs were looking for.
Not at all, but another great play on the assist. The primary assist will go to Owen McLaughlin. He enters the UMD zone with speed, stops near the top of the circle, and finds Logan Britt, who UMD just didn't pick up. He walked right between the circles and then beat Matthew Thiessen clean on the glove side. It's 2-0 North Dakota. And now a 2-on-1. This is McLaughlin. Has Blake. Blake walks into McLaughlin and just over his stick. He had a yawning net to shoot at and would have made it 3-0. Olsen the other way for UMD. To Spicer in the corner. UMD at risk of letting this game slip away from them early. Olsen, he's tripped up. Back to his feet, out to center ice. Out of the reach of Biondi. Johannes. And now Pearson. North Dakota gets Keaton Pearson back after he missed the last 5 games. He was injured in that series against Minnesota in Grand Forks, the transfer from Michigan. They're happy to have him back on the blue line. He's got a lot of experience. He played in 3 NCAA tournaments, 2 Frozen Fours with the Wolverines. So when you talk about new faces on the blue line, that's not a bad thing for North Dakota.
No.
They brought in some pretty good players.
Yeah, they sure did. When you're bringing in someone from Michigan, I mean, that's one of the top 5 teams in the country the last few years. So great pickup for North Dakota, and obviously he's making an impact in this lineup.
Pike off the boards to Berg, who settles things down past 7.5 minutes to go here in the first period. Shot 7-2 North Dakota, who also owns a 2-0 lead on the scoreboard. Bast tried to bang it off the wall and out to the blue line. Can't get it past the check. And now it comes back to the near side. Johannes walks in, centering pass to the backhand. Jake Smaltz in the end couldn't get a clean look in on Thiessen.
Some really nice 2-on-1s. They're isolating in the corners by North Dakota on the forecheck. So they're really having their way right now, Zach, on the forecheck. And, UMD's got to man up here and really just dig deep and play some good team defense here and weather the storm a little bit. I don't think they want this thing to get 3-0 this early in the game.
Centering pass from Jammernick. No one home for North Dakota. It's flipped out to the UMD line. James holds, and Dubinsky has to double back for the Bulldogs. Around to the far side. Bass the first one there. Again, can't get it out. It's still in the zone. Jammernick will play it. He wasn't sure, and another fortunate break really for UMD that Jammernick didn't know he could go in. This is Ness. Working on Dubinsky in the corner. Tried to center. It's cleared out to center ice now by UMD with 6.5 minutes to play in the period. Mangini, big hit at center ice on Griffin Ness. Perkins the other way with some speed. Tries to get around Zmolik, who does well to push him to the end boards. Another big hit thrown in the corner by Mangini. Now Johnson a takeaway. Gives it to the near side. Good stick from Zmolik. Long shot, Bodnerchuk was wide. It goes to the far side and up to the point. Held by Gallatin toward the net. That, again, wide for UMD. A little bit of energy from those 2 Mangini hits for the Bulldogs. Ness off the boards and out to center ice. Gallatin back to retrieve. And Olsen off the bench now for UMD. Gallatin through center ice. He slides it ahead. That should be and is an icing here on UMD. Let's go once more down between the benches. What do you got, Alexis?
Well, of course, Salen wasn't going to tell us who was starting in net for them tonight, but he did acknowledge Matthew Thiessen for his performance against the Gophers last Saturday, calling it phenomenal, saying we needed that. We need that moving forward. That's something our team is going to need as they continue to have difference makers in their goaltending. And of course, Salen acknowledged Ludwig Persson, saying and joking, we've got to face him again. This is the 11th time that UMD will face the Miami transfer. Guys.
Yeah, and I would think that barring any injury or unforeseen circumstances, they'll see him at least the next 3 times they play, tomorrow night and then the 2 games in Grand Forks. I don't think you're going to get Ludwig Persson out between the pipes this year for North Dakota.
No, I mean, he's been on his share of the losing side of things the last couple of years, and I'm sure he's very happy to be on this North Dakota team, and he's a nice-looking goaltender, and, UMD's got to get some traffic in front of him if they're going to have success tonight.
Only 3 shots on goal to this point for UMD, and only 1 that really tested the transfer for North Dakota. Livanovich, nice defenseman there for UND. First time we've called his name, the freshman on the back end, as Spicer delivers a hit on Jackson Blake. And Livanovich back in his own zone, takes the puck for North Dakota. Gaber across the line to Blake. This time he sidesteps Biondi. Penalty coming here as Blake was tripped up. Biondi to the box and North Dakota to the power play. Already up 2-0 when we come back. My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Minnesota power play. North Dakota's first of the game already with that 2-0 lead. The Fighting Hawks 1 for 6 with the man advantage in last weekend's split against Boston University. Only 5 power play goals on the season, if you can believe it, for North Dakota. It's an area, believe it or not, where they've struggled.
Yeah, 15% power play is very surprising with the talent we're seeing on display here already. Just into this first period, I don't expect that power play to be cruising along at a 15% clip the whole year, but hopefully for the Bulldogs' sake, it stays there or lower for this weekend. But playing with fire if you're going to put this team on the power play, though, it would appear to me.
A couple false starts off the face-off to start this power play for North Dakota, and now the officials will conference. And I believe just adjust the time as 1 second had ticked off the clock. They'll reset it to 4:42 and a full 2 minutes of this power play for North Dakota. The UMD penalty kill, meanwhile, was much maligned in the opening 4 or 5 games of this season. It's gotten much better in the second half of the season gone by. The last 4 or 5 games have been better for the penalty kill unit.
Yeah, penalty killing is simply hard work and will and, shot blocking, et cetera, along with good positioning and thinking and knowing when to jump. So certainly, North Dakota's been working on their power play and UMD's been working on their PK. Again, in the opening, we said this was going to be the weaknesses of both teams, so we'll see how this plays out.
While they figure out the clock issue, let's take this time to remind you that UMD Stores has the area's largest selection of UMD wear and is open 7 days a week. You can stop by today to see the newest gear for fans of all ages. The store opens 7 days a week on campus on Kirby Drive, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com. Officials now reporting back to, right now, Brad Berry. The clock, I'm really confused here, Jason, because the clock now reads 4:34 with a minute 52 of power play time. There's no way that 8 seconds ticked off the clock on those 2 botched faceoffs. But that's where it stands, and that's where we will start again.
And maybe they're going to hold the clock here for a few seconds before they start it.
The puck into the corner, and the power play continues. Comes to Olsen, who gets the clear for UMD. Person tried to move it around the board. Spicer cut it off there for the UMD penalty kill, wrapped it around to the far side, and now North Dakota gets possession with 90 seconds to go. In the man advantage, a chance to take a 3-0 lead here in the opening period. Entry pass just out of the reach, and now a bouncing puck is cleared by UMD's Quinn Olsen. The Boston Bruins draft pick will flip it in and head to the bench. Good start to the penalty kill so far for UMD. The Fighting Hawks in the opening 60 seconds haven't had really any offensive zone time to speak of. But here comes the second unit. Gaber to Blake. Far side circle, McLaughlin. Pike, a long shot. Thiessen makes the save. Blake tried to sweep it toward the middle. It comes out to the line, and Mangini will kick it to himself and clear for UMD.
Thought Blake had an opening there to shoot, and he decided to pass. I think he made a mistake on passing that one. Maybe should have been a little more selfish and fired that puck on net. So far, so good for the Bulldogs.
Still 35 seconds to go in the man advantage for North Dakota. Schmaltz pins it up against the far boards. Blake digging at it there as North Dakota completing some changes. Britt has it top of the near circle. Already with 1 goal in the game, Logan Britt to Johannes. Britt, Livanovich. Britt walks in, face-off dot, across for Blake, and a block shot by Joey Pierce for UMD, a big one for the Bulldogs. Final 10 seconds of the power play. Schmaltz has it, leaves for Livanovich. Long shot, it pinballs around in front, saved by Thiessen, swept out to the far side. We're back to 5-on-5 as Biondi is released. Some exciting moments there at the end of the North Dakota power play, but UMD survives. 2.5 minutes to go in the opening period.
Nice job by Pierce on the shot block there, and a good job by Thiessen, fighting through traffic and making some big stops.
McMenamin now. Through center ice, it's Biondi. He'll flip it in and be the one to give chase. 2:15 to play in the opening 20 minutes. Perkins, the takeaway, walks in. Save made, the rebound out in front and cleared away by North Dakota's Dylan James. They flip it into the UMD side of the ice. Turnover now at the line. Jamernick down low. Centering pass now. Toe save by Thiessen, and the shot, the rebound, they score. I'm not sure how it went in. Louis Jamernick, though, celebrates. I think it'll be his goal. And it's 3-0 North Dakota.
They're going to have to take a look at this one, I believe. Be interesting. I'm not sure how this one went in either, Zach. Looking at home here on the replay, puck goes up. Looks like it was batted out of air from 27. It looked to me like it was probably below the crossbar. I think that's going to be a good goal. They'll definitely review that one. But the play started with Gallatin kind of turned it over right at the blue line. Not sure whether he's usually one of the more sure-handed puck handlers that the Bulldogs have on defense, but turned it over and it led to the whole kind of mess in front. And I think this is going to be a good goal, Zach.
Yeah, they're waiting to see if UMD wants to use its challenge, and I believe they will. They are indeed. Scott Sandlin will challenge the good goal called on the ice. If it stands, it'll be a highlight reel goal for Louis Jamernick, the senior forward, his first goal of the year. And I'm with you, Waddy. I think from the look we got at it, that stick was underneath the bar, and it hit actually the crossbar after you saw on the replay. It went bar down as Thiessen was sprawled from making the initial save. But what a piece of skill and high hand-eye coordination from Louis Jamernick.
Here's another look at it. And it looks like if James would have hit it, it would have been too high, but it looked like it came down, and Jamernick was able to, have the presence of mind to knock it out of midair with the hand-eye coordination. Unless there's a different angle we're not getting, I think it's going to be a good goal. It is close, though. There's no question.
Yeah, the officials will have some different angles than we've shown you so far on the broadcast. As you get a look at the conference happening in the video room. If UMD loses the challenge here, Jason, they lose their timeout for the remainder of the game. It's kind of a high reward, low risk type of play for Scott Sandlin to not go down 3-0 at this point in the hockey game. It's almost like you burn your timeout, and he might take it anyway if you're down 3-0 in the opening period.
Great point. I think this game's gotten off the rails a little bit. It started out pretty well, first 9 minutes or so, and it's been all North Dakota the last 6, 7, 8 minutes. And yeah, you're right. Maybe this timeout isn't the worst thing anyway. And
the common rule of thumb is the longer they look at it, the better it is for the challenging team. So for UMD to still have the officials, Nathan Wheeler and Ryan Hersey, looking at this play, the more I'm inclined to think that they're at least thinking about reversing this. The call on the ice is important. You need to have evidence to overturn the call on the ice, which was a good goal for Louis Jamernick and North Dakota. But the longer this goes on, you got to think the better you feel about UMD's chances of maybe winning this challenge.
Yeah, and again, when the first player swiped at it, which was Dylan James, his stick was definitely above the crossbar. When you see number 26 take a swipe at it here, that's above the crossbar. Now it comes down to Jamernick. Question is Jamernick's stick below that crossbar? From that angle now, it starts to, it's maybe a little tougher call.
It's close. The angle is what makes it tough. I don't know how they can determine if it's above or below from the angles that we were looking at, but they've made their decision, and we will hear the announcement here at Amsoil Arena.
After review, the call on the ice is confirmed. We have a good goal.
That call on the ice confirmed. A good goal for North Dakota. Louis Jamernick's first goal of the season. And the Fighting Hawks, you can't start a game much better. It's 3-0 in favor of the visitors.
Yeah, and UMD really, I think, just needs to get out of this period and regroup, get into the locker room and reset and break this game down into segments, get the next goal, get it to 3-1, stop the bleeding. Again, game started out pretty well for UMD, pretty even, and now North Dakota's just taken over, and their confidence level is skyrocketing, and UMD's all of a sudden fumbling pucks and turning pucks over. So
Strindon at the UMD line. The Bulldogs might be happy just to get in the locker room, get through the next minute and 45 seconds, and try to regroup. Goats ahead for Johnson at the North Dakota line. Britt knocks it away from Mangini. And now Britt controls with 90 seconds to play. Albrecht through neutral, flips it in. Goats moves it behind the goal. This is Pionk around the near boards, up ahead for Spicer. Spicer takes a hit from Griffin Ness, and it comes back to Aaron Pionk. You'll hear from Cole Spicer after this opening period. Again, playing against his hometown collegiate team, the program to which he was once committed, and now he draws a penalty on North Dakota as he cut through the high slot. Hooking coming here on the Fighting Hawks, and UMD to the power play. Let's go down between the benches. Alexis, what do you got?
That's all broadcast long. This is the first time that former Fighting Hawk Luke Bass played against his former team, but he told us earlier this week he always knew he wanted to stay in the NCHC as it gives him the best opportunity to compete at the highest level. But he said once that puck drops, he's no longer friends with those guys in green. Our Alexis Beckett sat down with him ahead of this one to talk all things rivalries and his transition to Bulldog Country. That's all coming up at the first intermission break, guys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis. Minnesota power play for UMD here, their first of the hockey game, and an important one to start the long climb back. Gallatin at the near point, 60 seconds to go in the period. The power play will carry over to the second if need be. Olsen near boards, Gallatin at the point. Far side, that's Steves. He walks in the circle, save made. Spicer at the rebound, couldn't get good wood on it, and Steves has it in the corner. Steves to the point, Gallatin. Steves in the circle. A shot that was blocked. It comes to the near side. Olsen. Gallatin. Down low height. 30 seconds to play in the period. Gallatin walks to the middle. Long shot. Missed the net. Steves collects it far boards. Try to move it to the middle. He's disrupted by a couple Hawks, but UMD holds. Olsen walks in across for low height. His shot back across the grain. Missed the net. And Karam's off the boards out to center ice. Good look there for the UMD captain, but he just missed the net. Yeah. Final 10 seconds. Olsen into the zone. Tried to sidestep Schmaltz, who did well to cancel him out. And that's how the first period will come to an end tonight. A great one in Grand Forks, or if you're wearing green, North Dakota leads it 3-0 after 20 minutes. We'll step aside. The Super One Foods intermission report starts right after this on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Lions, Tigers, and Teddy Bears. Oh my! It's the annual Teddy Bear Toss tonight here at Amsoil Arena. All the bears being tossed on the ice here after the first period will be donated to children in need this holiday season. Always a fun event for the holiday season. As for the hockey game, North Dakota leads it 3-0 after one period. Our Alexis Bass is joined by UMD sophomore Cole Spicer down on the ice.
Well, we're steering clear of the Bears down here, but how do you guys ensure that you stay clear from the Fighting Hawks after being down 3-0 here?
I mean, obviously that's not the start you want. They came out ready to play, and simply we didn't. So we gotta find a way to battle back, get some energy on our side.
And for you, you've taken a bigger role coming into these last couple of weeks as Dom James is out. How have you managed those extra minutes on the ice? I know Sandlin said earlier this week he wants to make sure you're not being overworked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I think it comes early in the week, taking care of your body, getting the rest, getting the food you need. I think that's the biggest thing.
I know that you have 50-plus family members surrounding Amsoil here. What's it like to play UND for the first time in a Bulldog uniform here at Amsoil?
It's obviously a good feeling. I mean, a lot of those guys I've known for a while, a couple Grand Forks kids, so it's good to play against them. Obviously, we're not friends right now, but and then, yeah, family, they love watching me. I love having them here, so it's good to see some familiar faces.
Well, best of luck to you guys in the second period.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis. Cole Spicer using a word, energy. And you compare tonight to last Saturday's game against another big rival for UMD, Minnesota. In that game, the Bulldogs scored the first goal. They didn't trail until later in the second period. They only trailed by 1 that entire hockey game. Tonight, a different story. North Dakota gets the first one. They pile on 2 more. And the energy in this building, incomparable to what we felt last Saturday night.
Yeah, I didn't feel like the Bulldogs came out that bad the first 8-9 minutes, but after that first goal, North Dakota just clearly took over this game, and now it's 3-0, and the Bulldogs are searching for answers right now, and as Spicer mentioned, they've got to just bring some energy, bring some forecheck. They've had no forecheck on North Dakota at all. They did have an opportunity there on the power play. They've got 55 seconds left on a power play. Maybe they can cash in on that. They look like they're moving it around pretty well, but they're going to have to up the energy level or it could get ugly here quickly. You don't want to mess around with a team like North Dakota and their firepower. So critical time of the game coming up right away.
Yeah, and Ludwig Persson, I should say, after last weekend they had to deal with Justin Close in Minnesota. Another tough puzzle to solve in between the pipes for North Dakota. Their record speaks for itself. When they score 3, 4, or more goals this season, they are very, very tough to beat with that defensive core and the guy they've got now between the pipes. 3-0 North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks lead the Bulldogs here after 20 minutes. We'll step aside. More on the Super One Foods Intermission Report right after this on My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Welcome back to Amsoil Arena. Zach Schneider alongside Jason Watt with you in Duluth. North Dakota carries a 3-0 lead into the second period here at Amsoil Arena. First period goals come in 9 minutes of gameplay from Jaden Perron, Logan Britt, and Louis Jamernick for the visiting Fighting Hawks. UMD does start this second period with 55 seconds of carryover power play time. And a chance to get on the board and maybe tilt the ice somewhat back in the home team's direction, something that they found very difficult in that opening 20 minutes. Teams are back on the ice for this second period. Let's go down on the ice where Alexis is joined by UMD assistant coach Cody Chupp.
Obviously not the start that you wanted. What was the encouragement in that locker room just now?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a lot of encouragement other than we have to stop giving them free stuff. And you know, again, it looks like we were unprepared for what the game was going to be. I thought probably the first 5 minutes we had some good chances and we played well. But we have to find a way to stick to our game, even when bad things happen. So the first goal all of a sudden becomes a snowball effect where it becomes 3. That's a big problem.
You know that the second periods notoriously have been tougher for you guys. How do you overcome that tonight?
Well, to start with a power play goal right now would really be helpful. But we just got to make a commitment to ourselves and to each other to do things the right way.
Thanks, Cody. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks, Alexis. Pretty pointed words there from assistant coach Cody Chupp as his team starts this second period down 3-0. He didn't pull any punches there, Waddy.
No, the staff looked a little disappointed in that first period again. You know what? They've got their power play. They are ranked 3rd in the country on the power play. It's been a massive bright spot for the team so far. They got 48 seconds to see what they can do and get some momentum on their side, get this crowd back into it. So, you know, they just got to play grittier and dig deeper this period.
14 power play goals on the year for UMD. Close to half the goals they've scored all year long have come with the man advantage. Low height off the end boards to the far side. Spicer cuts it off there. Bouncing puck goes back into the corner. Britt tangled with the official and UMD's Luke Lowhite, but North Dakota gets the clear with 25 seconds to go in the UMD Minnesota power play. Steves, tied for first in the nation, has 6 power play goals, leaves for Lowhite. He fans on the centering pass and recovers in time to hold the zone. Olsen now tried to leave for Steves along the near boards, comes back to Lowhite. Across for Gallatin, long shot. That was blocked in front. Look out now. Blake out of the box and behind the defense. Leaves now for Strinden. Strinden had it go off his stick and to the end boards. Matthew Thiessen lost his goal stick. It goes to the far side. This is Weeb. Gives it to Blake. UMD again fortunate that Blake couldn't corral that puck very cleanly. He would have been in from the blue line in as a long shot from Wiebe is corralled by Matthew Thiessen, who is still without his stick. And a faceoff coming in the Bulldog zone.
Yeah, they looked like they kept the puck in on the power play a couple times, and then, you know, Captain Low-Height fans on it, not what you want to see. And then North Dakota, a little bit of a break where they're clearing and the guy happens to be coming out of the box, and Blake just wasn't able to quite corral that in stride. And a nice back check from Spicer on that to break that up and not give up on the play. So, you know, getting outshot basically 2-1, 13-7. You know, North Dakota kills that off, and it's time for the Bulldogs to go to work if they want to stay in this game.
North Dakota wins the face-off, but the dump in from Pearson deflects back to the North Dakota zone. McLaughlin is slow to his feet and now back to the bench for North Dakota. I didn't see what happened to him behind the play, but he was slow to his feet and now just gets to the Fighting Hawks bench.
I didn't see that either. It was behind the play, and he looks like he's a little dinged up, so hopefully he's okay.
Top line continues on without him. Cameron Berg takes his spot. UMD causes the turnover here. McMenamin wraps it around to the near side. This is Bettens. Bettens pushed to the wall by Cameron Berg. Gets some help from Pearson. Bettens fights through that double check. Behind the wall, behind the goal, along the wall now. Pass to the point, deflected by Blake, who clears the zone for North Dakota. Blake to Berg at the line. Tried to center on the backhand for Gaber. Berg gets it back now in the corner. His pass to the point deflected. Long shot Wiebe. It actually hit the body of Gaber, who controls. Gaber in the circle. Now the corner centering pass deflected behind the net of UMD. Bettens spins one to the line, held by Gaber. He sidesteps Smith, gets some help now from Darian Goetz, who leads the charge the other way for UMD. He's 1-on-3 though as he crosses the line, has it poked away from him and back to center ice. Wiebe picks it up. Johannes is going to be in ahead of the play, and a late shot perhaps from Abram Wiebe will draw the attention of a couple Bulldogs. And I don't believe any penalties will come of this, as Aiden Dubinsky didn't like the long shot there from Abram Wiebe. Well, we talked at the Open about the sophomore Jackson Blake, the reigning NCHC Rookie of the Year. Reese Gaber on the other wing of North Dakota's top line. He scored his 50th career goal last weekend. That was also his 100th career point, the 87th North Dakota skater to reach the century mark. So those two wings and Owen McLaughlin between them, that makes for what's a pretty powerful top line for Brad Berry and company.
Well, we've seen Minnesota, and they're loaded with, I think they had 13 draft picks and some first rounders. And so far, this North Dakota line looks as impressive as any we've seen so far. And, you know, going to be fun to watch this whole weekend.
Centering pass for Schmaltz, his redirect just wide. As North Dakota now goes back to work after killing off what's left of the Blake Minor to start this second period. A centering pass comes to Schmaltz, saved by Thiessen. The rebound in the circle, and it's going to be cleared by Carter Loney for UMD. The Bulldogs continue to live dangerously in front of their own goal. Johnson behind the net. His centering pass off the skate, saved by Person to the far side of the crease. It's underneath him, and the whistle goes. Best look in a while for UMD, as now some more pushing and shoving as Pike was incensed by one of the Bulldogs. I think that's Blake Biondi at the bottom of the pile with him. I didn't see what Biondi did to make Garrett Pike so upset, but Garrett Pike went after Biondi after I thought things had cooled down, and again, no penalties will come.
Well, Pike was able to corral the puck and get it into Person to freeze it up, and kind of a heads-up play by him to get it to kind of stop the scrum. But
I spoke too soon. They'll take Johnson for UMD and Wiebe for North Dakota. Two guys who maybe that's what started it. Let's see if we can see here on the replay. Yeah, at the bottom of the pile, it's Wiebe and Johnson who are jousting, and maybe that's what drew the attention of Biondi and Pike, who jumped in as the secondary guys for both teams. So we'll skate 4-on-4 for the first time tonight.
And this is a time where you get a little open ice, and Bulldogs put their skill guys out there. You know, you're going to probably see some Cole Spicer. We're going to start out with Olsen and Spicer up front. I'm sure we're going to see Steves on this with that extra open ice. A great opportunity, really, for the Bulldogs to get that next goal and try and get some life back into this building and get some momentum going, because it just looks like a flat hockey team right now.
Britt, one of the goal scorers for North Dakota, moves it ahead. They can't clear the zone. Olsen ducks under the check of Britt. Berg has it along the end boards and now starts the charge with a lot of speed. He races through center ice, tried to sidestep Gallatin, who tripped him up. Dubinsky behind the goal will gain control for UMD. It's Gallatin ahead for Olsen. Olsen with speed. McLaughlin back out there for North Dakota after he was shaken up on his last shift. Bast pinches down from the point, gives to Olsen, to Spicer in the slot. The shot deflected by the stick of Smolik, up out of play for North Dakota.
Yeah, Gallatin did a nice job on that rush, by the way. That was definitely not a penalty. Kept the body in front of him, and so fended off that North Dakota offensive player who was coming through the neutral zone with speed. So big draw here, Zach. If they can win this draw, maybe get some puck control and get some shots here on Person.
Pionk has it for UMD. Sidesteps one defender. Into the circle he went. Low height to Pionk in the corner. His pass back to the point was deflected all the way down, and Thiessen will play it behind the goal for UMD. 60 seconds to go in the 4-on-4.
McLaughlin back on the ice, so apparently he's doing okay.
This is the UMD captain, Low height, has his pocket picked from behind by McLaughlin, and it comes to Blake, who dipsy-doos his way through a couple attackers for UMD. Now McLaughlin to the far side. This is Pearson. He leaves for Blake. Blake in the circle. Spinorama move. It comes to Livanovich just off the stick of Blake, and Livanovich will retreat back to center ice, regroup with 30 seconds to go in the 4-on-4, even strength. Livanovich to Blake high in the zone. He walks down Main Street. Centering pass back to the near side. That just missed. Was behind Garrett Pike, who gives to McLaughlin now. Sidesteps McMenamin into the corner. Try to go back up the boards to Blake. McMenamin does well, ties him up there and comes away with the puck, but it's taken back by North Dakota. Livanovich. McLaughlin. Livanovich wanted to drive and fan on that shot. Back to 5-on-5 as Johnson and Weeb are released.
Like you said earlier, Zach, living dangerously, the Bulldogs. I mean, lucky that one puck was on edge and he kind of fanned on it a little bit. So a little bit of puck luck on the Bulldogs side, or this thing could be worse.
There was an empty net. I forget the player for North Dakota that had a look at it. It might have been McLaughlin in the opening period. And now a long shot from Pike is swallowed up by Thiessen, with Griffin Ness providing a screen in front for the Hawks. But there have been a couple times, 2 or 3, where you get the sense that North Dakota could have added to the lead and made it even worse than the 3-0 scoreline we have.
Yeah. North Dakota's buzzing. They're showing their skill off. They're really, using each other in open ice and staying spread out, and they're activating their defensemen. There's really not much they're doing well right now. And then if they do have a minor breakdown, their goaltender Person's been there to weather anything the Bulldogs can muster at him. So, again, next goal is very, very big in this game.
Strindon off the faceoff fires in on Thiessen, who makes the save. It seems he's settled in a bit. I don't know how much you can blame Matthew Thiessen for any of the 3 goals that have been scored tonight, but it's kind of a shock to your system as a goaltender to get 3 behind you in the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? To his credit, he has hung in there, and he has had some shots, that could have made this thing 4-5-0, and he's been pretty stout since that first onslaught in the first period. So you like to see that.
Puck back to center ice here. Weeb whips it around. It comes to the near boards. Albrecht takes a hit from Goetz as UMD tries to assert the physicality a bit. Bring some energy back that way. This is Bettens across the line. They're onside. He fires in, and Person, top of his crease, he makes the stop for North Dakota. A faceoff coming in the Fighting Hawks' end.
be great to see a guy like Bettens get going. He power forward, big kid, and when he's going, he's really a force. He wins a lot of puck battles along the wall. That's the type of guy you're looking for to spark the team, maybe lay a big hit, get in front of the net, create some traffic. He's had some real nice moments this year in this, young season so far. Need to see a little more out of him tonight, but
third line's out for both teams. Schmaltz will draw against Smith in the Fighting Hawks zone. It comes to Biondi, tried to fire, but fanned on the shot from the high slot, and it's cleared to center ice by North Dakota. That's a shot that's got to get to the net for UMD and Blake Biondi, but he just rolled off the heel of his stick. He's got it again, fires one. That's saved by Person. Now Steves from a sharp angle. Person fought that one off with the glove. Biondi behind the goal. To the far side, Steves. Back to the point, Bast to Pierce, D to D. Long shot, that was blocked in front. Stepping in front of it, Logan Britt, who clears to center ice and into the UMD zone. Bouncing puck will be played there by Luke Bast. Ahead for Steves. Off the boards, Biondi. 3-on-2 as they cross the line. Biondi fires, blocked again. That time Smolik. Back to the point, Pierce. He delays. Gives for Steve. Good shift turned in here by this third line for UMD. Dubinsky crashes down from the point. Holds the zone as the Bulldogs are changing part of their forward line. Big hit at the line by Pierce as he knocked Perron down at the UMD line. This is Olsen now. Olsen to Spicer. The Bulldogs starting to move their feet a bit. Lowhite a shot. Blocked in front. Lowhite gets it back. Near side. Hands off now for Dubinsky. Olsen at the blue line. Fanned on the pass. And Johannes clears the pressure for North Dakota. Johannes now to the far side. Off the bench, McLaughlin. Spicer knifes it away from him with the stick. Lowhite almost had his pocket picked. The bouncing puck out to the UMD line. And now at neutral, this is Quinn Olsen for the Bulldogs. Across the line, tried to get it in deep for Gallatin, who helps it along only as far as Pearson, who now leaves for Livanovich. McLaughlin in the corner, now behind the net, tries a wraparound off the pad of Matthew Thiessen for UMD. The pace picks up here midway through the second period as we start to go end to end. Bouncing puck, Steves can't corral. To the far side, Gaber, one-timer, great save by Matthew Thiessen. Out in front, he robbed Griffin Ness. Blake has the puck for North Dakota. The puck over the line and out to center ice. North Dakota wants a hook, won't get it, as Goats got his stick into the hands of Jackson Blake.
Well, if you're a Bulldog fan, hopefully that's one to remember, is that save by Thiessen and keeping him in this thing. Huge save, and starting to see the Bulldogs come to life a little bit with some zone time. So
now Gaber to Weeb, another save by Thiessen. It comes to Gaber at the far side, block shot by Pionk. Gaber still controls. Couple great saves in this sequence for the UMD fifth year. Gaber dances around high in the zone, still controls the puck for North Dakota. Gives it to Pike. In behind, fourth line out there for North Dakota. It comes to Pionk, who will relieve the pressure for UMD and flip to center. Dumped back in by the Fighting Hawks. Thiessen out to play the puck behind his own goal. Approaching the halfway point here of period number 2. Britt tried to go rink wide. They'll wave off the icing as Pionk back to play it for UMD around the near boards. There was Bettens, but his play off the wall no good. And now Loney just able to clear the zone, and North Dakota in offside will step aside. It's 3-0 Fighting Hawks, but the Bulldogs buzzing a bit on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Well, a disturbing trend if you're a Bulldogs fan, but UMD has trailed by a 3-0 score in 4 of its last 5 games. The lone exception, of course, being last weekend's 3-3 overtime tie against Minnesota. But other than that, this has been a really rough stretch for UMD in terms of letting other teams build up these big early leads.
It's what Scott Sandelin's talked about ad nauseum really all year is getting consistency through 3 periods.
With Matthew Thiessen covering that puck, let's go down to Alexis Bass.
Thanks, guys. Well, when they say shooters shoot, you could easily identify Ben Steeves as a sniper of this UMD team. Earlier this week, Scott Sandlin told us that he has an unbelievable shot, but that comes with practice. He's always one of 2 to 3 guys that just sit in the shooting room and shoot pucks. And guys, as we know, he's never shy of shooting the puck. In fact, this UMD student section always has a fan cheer for him when he's got puck possession. We haven't seen a whole lot of him tonight, but we hope that he becomes noisy and loud in this final frame in the third period and hopefully closes something out in the second, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Alexis. Steeves and UMD, I should say, just with 10 shots on goal to this point in the hockey game, and that's not as many as Scott Sandlin would like. Berg, and saved by Thiessen. That's the 21st shot on goal for North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks so far have done a much better job of getting pucks to the net and through those blocks. We talked about these two teams being really good at blocking shots. So far, North Dakota has done a much better job of that as a team. But UMD will go back to the power play. As tripped up at neutral was Matthew Perkins for UMD. It's Garrett Pike, the guilty party. He's in the box. Riley Bodnerchuk took exception to this hit at center ice as Pike stuck the knee out. And UMD will get its second power play of the hockey game.
Yeah, he got his knee in there, Pike, a little bit, and that's a dangerous hit. And it looks like, Perkins is going to be okay, but Bodnerchuk took exception to that. And maybe this will light a little bit of a fire, under the Bulldogs. But yeah, that was a little bit of a borderline play there on that, in fact, from just a normal trip. You don't want to see anyone, you don't like to see those knee-to-knee penalties, and that's where, guys get knee injuries and can be laid up for long term.
Good news is Matthew Perkins, a quick trip down the tunnel with the athletic training staff. He's back on the bench for UMD, no worse for wear. And UMD to its second Minnesota power play of the evening. A chance to get on the board for the Bulldogs midway through this second period. They win the faceoff. Gallatin to Steeves, winds and fires. The save by Person. Rebound clear to the end boards by North Dakota, and now all the way down. Alexis just said it. Ben Steeves has never seen a shot that he doesn't want to take, and that one almost handcuffed Ludwig Person, even though it looked a bit on end, and it was from a long ways out.
I think the message is clear there, maybe to the rest of the power play. Shoot the puck, get traffic in front, keep it simple, and we'll see if the Bulldogs can get this thing set up. And there's an errant clear.
Lohite tried to wrap the puck around to the far point, and that point was empty. Olsen chases back to the UMD zone. Now across the line they come with 45 seconds already gone in the power play. To the far side, Spicer. To the point, Gallatin, and now they'll get set up. Number 6 is who they're looking for. He's got 6 power play goals. That's tied for most in the country to this point. He wanted to fire that one, thinks better of it. Now he walks in, tipped in front, they score! Quinn Olsen, a power play goal, and the Bulldogs are on the board. It's 3-1.
Well, Quinn Olsen getting to the net right where he should be, and you've got to respect Ben Steeves' shooting ability. That draws North Dakota out a little bit, and of course, Steeves not a one-trick pony, just a shooter. He can make plays, and a beautiful feed out front. Quinn Olsen puts it away. It actually looks like maybe it was Luke Lohite on the goal. It might have went past Olsen into Lohite. So either way, both guys in front of the net, right where they should be. And again, the UMD power play maybe getting some energy back into this building.
I think you're right. I think it was the captain, Luke Lohite, who got the tip in front for UMD. It'll be his 3rd goal of the season, and it's a big one for the Bulldogs to get them on the board with still a lot of time left to go here on Friday night. Now Biondi in front. It's tipped by McMenamin, and Person makes a great save, maybe his best of the night. And now a big hit thrown behind the play by Blake Biondi. That gets the crowd on its feet. This is Blake with the puck, though, to the far side. How does North Dakota respond to UMD's first goal of the night? Pike tried to whip it through the middle of the zone. It comes to Weeb. Gaber in the near corner. Gaber, the North Dakota captain. To the point, it's Blake. Blake in the circle, weaves his way through the defense. What a piece of skill by Jackson Blake. The backhander stopped in the end by Matthew Thiessen. With the faceoff coming in the Bulldog zone, and the holiday season coming up on all of us. If you're in need of a great gift idea for your favorite Bulldogs fan, UMD Stores has got you covered. All the very best brands to show off your Bulldog pride, or UMD Stores gift cards, always the right size. The store opens 7 days a week on campus on Kirby Drive, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com.
Well, Blake, you see about that. He's an electric player. He's got his head up, and he's got a bag of tricks. I mean, he can really handle the puck. Great stick handler. And you've got to get a body on a guy like that. You can't be mesmerized by the puck if you're a UMD defender, and you've got to stay with him. So he was kind of walking all over the offensive zone.
How about the save at the other end by Ludwig Persson? That would have been 2 goals in about 15 seconds for UMD had he not made that stop.
Yeah, and he hasn't. And these are tough games to play when you're not facing a lot of action. And, very easily could have been 3-2. Beautiful save by Persson to answer back with some of Thiessen this period, too. So, again, see if the Bulldogs can keep the momentum going here, finally on the board, and get this crowd into it a little more.
Strinden has it, fires one that's blocked by Dubinsky for UMD. It bounces free to Gallatin. He's tripped up, no call coming. The partisan Amsoil Arena crowd wanted a power play there. They didn't get it, and the puck back to the North Dakota blue line. Livanovich ahead for Albrecht, who's in ahead of the play, which will take us to a break. The Bulldogs on the board thanks to the captain, Luke Lohheit. 3-1 North Dakota on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Just over 6 minutes to go, second period, 3-1, North Dakota leading UMD. Back to live action here at Amsoil Arena. Takeaway just outside of neutral for Bast, who fires a long shot, and Persson makes the stop for North Dakota.
Well, here we talk about, we haven't talked much about draws tonight. Here's a big draw. UMD makes it 3-1. They've got an offensive zone draw here. So, Perkins, Biondi have been showing a little bit of life the last couple shifts. So, see if they can win this draw, get some puck possession, get some more traffic in front of Persson, and get something going.
Some line shuffling through the second period. This is Perkins, McMenamin, and Biondi out there together for Scott Sandlin. Bast fires. It hit McMenamin right in front of the crease area. Now down low, another redirect for McMenamin goes wide. Pierce to Bast, near point, delays, tries to spin away from Johannes. Going down in a heap, one of the Bulldogs, that was Perkins. Now a 3-on-1 as they cross the line. Johannes tried to center, it's knocked away by Pierce for UMD. Back to the point, Pike couldn't handle it cleanly, it's back to center ice.
Boy, nice play by Pierce on that 3-on-1. Just timed it just right and got in the way of the passing lane, and Bulldogs living dangerously on that one.
Spicer digs it out for the Bulldogs. This is Olsen, he fans on the pass. Ahead at the North Dakota line. The puck deflected up out of play, and a faceoff coming at center ice.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulldogs had, Bass kind of made a nice play to keep it in there, but he ran into his own player, and all of a sudden it ends up going 3-on-1 the other way. And, again, takes a nice play by Pierce to keep this thing a 3-1 hockey game. Otherwise, we'd be scratching our heads again going, hey, it's 4-1, now where do the Bulldogs go? So, again, living on the edge a little bit. But, again, another cliche. Next goal is pretty big in this one. 4-1, 3-2 is a big difference. So,
North Dakota wants a face-off violation called on Jack Smith. Thought he had 2 false starts on that draw right at center ice. They might be right about that. He already had the 1 warning. But we continue on. And both teams now equally upset with the officials. So all is right in the world. Into the near corner it goes. Smith throws a hit, now gets bumped into by Mangini. Sharp angle shot by Smith was fought off by Persson. From the point, Pionk. Persson makes the pad save, and it's cleared away. This is Dylan James with some speed in the circle. Stick save, Thiessen. The goaltending starting to rise to the top here in the later stages of the second period. Both these goaltenders have made really good stops in the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah, certainly Persson's been activated a little more the second half of this period and has been up to the challenge. So if you're Coach Brad Berry, you like to see that.
Aaron Pionk without a glove. He'll try to make his way to the bench, I think. No, he stays out there as North Dakota turns the puck over, and Livanovich back the other way. Pionk can't get it past Blake. You got to be careful as you go into those scrums without a glove. And now Pionk will head to the bench for UMD. Spicer crashes down on the far boards. Low height throws a hit against Schmaltz. Pearson, and now Livanovich for North Dakota. Inside of 4 minutes to go here in the middle frame. Neither team at this point wants to concede a goal. It would be either momentum killing if North Dakota scores or momentum gaining if UMD scores as we trail into the later stages of this second period. Now Livanovich, near side, Blake sidesteps Bettens. Blake fires one off the pads of Thiessen. You've really seen the talent of Jackson Blake.
Yeah. And again, you do, and then a nice play by McLaughlin to kind of gain the zone, stop, has the presence of mind to find Blake going to the net. So they really spread it out wide and know how to find each other out there. Really impressive to watch.
Gaber has his pocket picked by Johnson. Ahead for Dubinsky. Off the bench is Perkins for UMD. Loney had a skate issue and just was getting to the bench as that puck came across the blue line for UMD. Now Strindon, maybe with a step on Bast. The former teammates in on goal. And Thiessen makes the save. Britt ahead for James. No, this is Jamernick, a shot. Saved by Thiessen. The rebound centered. It comes to Strindon. He's knocked away before he can get a shot away. And it's cleared to center ice by UMD with 2.5 to play. Long pass ahead at the line. This time it is James. Poke check by Thiessen for UMD. Now McMenamin, he'll flip it in for the Bulldogs.
Beautiful poke check by Thiessen there. Timed it just right. Looked like he wasn't going to come out for it. And he got it at the last second and saved a quality opportunity by North Dakota.
Schmaltz from a sharp angle. Thiessen makes the stop. Cleared to the end boards by Jack Smith. To the point, it's Britt. High slot. Schmaltz one-timer. Missed on the stick side of Thiessen. North Dakota smells blood in the water maybe. Final 2 minutes now of the second period. Far side corner, Perron. He's already got one in the game. High slot, delays as North Dakota changing. Perron centers, it's deflected, and Bodnarchuk will flip to center ice. Biondi the first one there, but they turn the puck over just outside the line. Perron one-on-one with Bodnarchuk, who blocks the shot for UMD. McMenamin off the boards. Biondi out to center ice. With 90 seconds to go, he flips in, and UMD will change. Long pass ahead, misses Johannes. They'll wave off the icing, must have got a piece of it along the near boards. Dubinsky, stapled to the wall by Johannes in the near corner. Perron, canceled out by Dubinsky. Johannes, again with it, far corner. Big body protects the puck, gives it to the near side corner. That's Perron. He's dispossessed by Dubinsky. With 1 minute to go, the puck to the point. This is McLaughlin. Walks to the middle, leaves for Livanovich. Far side one-timer is deflected up out of play off the stick of Hunter Johannes.
And the Bulldogs needed a whistle there. Good stick by Spicer to deflect that out of the zone, but unbelievable play by North Dakota right now, putting on a clinic in the UMD zone. You look McLaughlin, Blake, Perron, just unbelievable to watch these guys play, Zach. And they're as good as advertised coming in here, that's for sure. And the Bulldogs got their work cut out for them, keeping up with them all weekend.
So far in the second period, Matthew Thiessen has made 16 saves for UMD, all of them important to keep this game at least somewhat within reach for the Bulldogs. 53 seconds to go, and now's the time when you really can't concede a goal if you're either team. Final minute of a period trying to get into the locker room.
Yep. Big draw by UMD to win that one and get a clean out. Nice job by Dubinsky, and see if they can go to work here.
Olsen and low height along the end boards. It comes to the UMD line. This is Spicer as it knocked away in the high slot area. Now he and Blake battle for it along the far boards. That battle won by Blake, who clears to center ice with 25 seconds to go. He flips it into the UMZ zone, gloved by Spicer, and now left for Gallatin. Time for one last rush if you're the Bulldogs. With 15 seconds through center ice comes Olsen. He loses control, and it's Pike in front of the penalty box area for North Dakota. Dubinsky. Final 5 seconds. He'll shoot it in, and the second period will come to a close with some pushing and shoving. Perhaps, yes, it wouldn't be a UMD North Dakota series without some of the extracurriculars, but it's the Fighting Hawks that lead it 3-1 after 2 periods. 20 minutes to go here at AMSOIL Arena. The Super One Foods intermission report starts right after this on My9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Pucks being chucked here at AMSOIL Arena, much like they were all of that second period against UMD goaltender Matthew Thiessen. He made 16 saves as North Dakota doubled UMD on shots, 16-8 in that second period. The lone goal of that frame, though, belongs to UMD and their captain, Luke Lohheit. He joins our Alexis Bass.
Luke, your answer in the second period. What did you like about the response from your team in this second period?
We just played faster. We just played more of our game. I think the first period obviously wasn't good. We've struggled with that lately. Unfortunately, it wasn't our best, but I like the response. We just got to keep it going. Good job by our power play, and hopefully we can get something going 5-on-5 here.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you that. You have this 3-1 deficit still. What do you need from your teammates to ensure that you can come out of this hole and get this win tonight?
Just physicality, I think, is the biggest thing. This is a rivalry. I think we forget that. So, got to play physical, get in their grill, get to the net. This goalie's good, so that goal is a product of us getting to the net, so we got to do that more often.
Notoriously, second periods have been a bit of a challenge for you guys this season. What did you like about this past second period compared to other ones this past season?
I mean, I thought our backs were against the wall a little bit, but yeah, I think our past second periods, we've had some leads and we've lost them, but we were playing from behind, so we needed it to be good. But we got to turn that into a full 60. Obviously, we can't do that tonight, but got to finish it with a good third. So,
best of luck in the third period.
Thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis. Luke Lohheit's power play goal in that second period was UMD's 15th power play goal of this season. They've only scored 30 goals total. By my math, 50% of the Bulldogs' goals this year have come with the man advantage. That is certainly not sustainable and not something that head coach Scott Sandlin is necessarily proud of. He wants to see his team be better 5-on-5, be better about scoring at even strength, but the power play gets you on the board and gives you a chance going into the third period.
It does. I mean, you've got to start scoring even strength, but you definitely don't want your power play to get worse when you're clipping at 37, 38%. But you're living dangerously that way. And if you'll notice, there's been some mishandled pucks from the Bulldogs. That's because North Dakota plays quick and is taking away time and space. And that affects, that's affecting UMD. So they're making plays quicker than they're maybe used to. And credit North Dakota for, pressuring UMD all over the ice in all 3 zones. And, like what the captain, Luke Lohheit, said, a great way to start to get back into this is get a little more physical. So, it's still only 3-1. All that being said, next goal is very big. You're at a 4-1 game or a 3-2 game. You get to a 3-2 game, anything can happen. So, again, we'll see what kind of energy the Bulldogs can come out with to start this third period.
Yeah, goals can change hockey games. We'll see who gets the next one here in the third period at AMSOIL Arena. The last goal belongs to UMD and Luke Lohheit. 3-1 after 2. The Super One Foods intermission report continues right after this. The UMD volleyball team has had its share of struggles this regular season, but with the final 2 matches of the regular campaign coming this weekend on the road, the Bulldogs are hoping that they will be included in the NSIC playoffs, which start next week. Our Alexis Bass sat down earlier this week with the head coach, Jim Booz.
So it was a big week this week for younger athletes before I get to your team and collegiate athletes. Just talk about what that means to this program as you guys haul in a whole new generation of players coming in.
Yeah, the COVID year that we're all going through and experiencing kids playing for longer than they traditionally would have is making for some pretty large classes being needed. And 2024 is one of those classes for us where we're going to bring in a few more bodies than we might normally do. But it's an exciting time, the excitement of those players making those commitments, signing those letters of intent, and knowing what they're going to be doing next. It's a fun time across the country, and certainly we're excited for our class as we signed yesterday.
And I know it means something to you as a head coach, but it must mean more to you as a dad. I know that happened for you as well this week. Talk about those emotions and what it means to you to see also your sons compete in the next level.
Yeah, it's cool just to be on the other side of the table and and go through that experience of trying to find your fit. And then once, you know, my youngest son here knew he had his place, finishing that off with his letter of intent signing and knowing he's found his home that he's really excited about. It's a great way to culminate that whole baseball experience that we've been going through for, you know, over 10 years now with both of our boys. So we're excited for him and excited for our oldest as well. You know, spring's right around the corner, and, you know, baseball season's a lot of fun in our house.
You guys have 2 regular season games left on the road this weekend. What do you expect to see out of your group this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, I was really happy with the way we played last week at home. You know, the Thursday night result didn't go our way, but the competitive nature of that match showed that we were right there, point for point. We really had a chance to finish it off a couple times, and we just couldn't quite get over the hump. But I was really happy with the energy, the effort level, the way we played. We carried that over into how we played Saturday. That got us a 3-0 win. So I'm just hoping we play with that same sort of energy and passion, emotion that they showed in those 2 matches. You know, they know what position they're in from a conference standing standpoint, from a regional ranking standpoint. And so they know they got to go out and play their best brand of volleyball and push aside maybe some of the struggles we've had this year and focus on what we've been doing well the last few weeks.
You've been head coach of this program for 20 plus years. You had this office for as long as that as well. But this season, what have you learned about yourself as a head coach?
Boy, great question. You know, that sometimes you think you've got all the things lined up for things to go a certain way, and despite all signs pointing in one direction, suddenly you find yourself going a different direction. And you have to learn to adjust and make change and make different decisions along the way and figure out what's best for the group that you have. Certainly coming into this year, knowing we returned 6 of 7 starters, we had a preconceived notion of who we were and what we needed to do to be successful. And to some extent, some of that has held true, but a lot of it has been different. And, you know, it's been a good learning opportunity for the coaching staff and for the players to realize it's just not easy.
Welcome back to Amsoil Arena. The third period imminent for UMD and North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks with 3 goals in the opening 20 minutes. The Bulldogs battled back with a power play goal in that second period. A 2-goal lead for the visitors as we head to the final 20 minutes.
Bulldogs living a little dangerously tonight, Zach, but they're in there. They're in this thing. It's 3-1. You know, this game is not over, but the Bulldogs got to spend more time in North Dakota's end if they're going to want to, you know, tilt the ice a little bit. And, you know, they haven't had a lot of answers for this first line. McLaughlin, Blake, and Gaber, they've been dancing around at will at times in the UMD zone. So, you know, but again, this game's well within reach.
Low Heights power play goal in the second period gives the Bulldogs some hope as we start the third. Here on Friday night at Amsoil Arena, Zach Schneider, Jason Watt, Alexis Bass with you tonight and tomorrow for this NCHC opener for both teams. Low Height out in front, redirect by Olsen, no good. Cleared away from danger by Blake, and now Gaber in the corner. Those two continue to battle along with Spicer and Olsen for UMD. Olsen comes free with it. Tried to go to the point, Pionk, long shot. Pinball's in front, directed to the corner. Olsen spins away from the check of Zmolik. Gets some help from Low Height, but the puck pops free to Jackson Blake, who relieves the pressure behind the UND goal. Berg moves the puck around Pionk. He went down in a heap, took one of the referees with him. And now a battle along the far side boards. Both Pionk and the referee back to their feet in the UMD zone. 60 seconds gone in the third and final period of regulation. McMenamin ahead for Perkins. Perkins into the end wall. Gets some help from McMenamin. He threw a hit on Garrett Pike, knocked him to the ice, but Pike able to get the puck free. And now it's Johannes. Nice move to the middle. Collected by Gallatin after Dubinsky went sprawling, and now a turnover by Dubinsky. Johannes has the puck again for North Dakota. Sharp angle shot, that was high and wide. It rides the rail and out to center ice it comes. Schmaltz chips it past Gallatin. Dubinsky Leaves it off the end boards for Gallatin. Both teams changing there as that puck deep in the UMD zone. This is Smith racing through center ice across the UND line. A shot pad save made by Person. Now Keaton Pearson in the corner. Crashing down is Luke Bass from the point. The puck go out to center ice. And now one-on-one, Dylan James against Joey Pierce. Pad saved by Thiessen as James got the shot away. Smith out to center ice. It comes to Steves, who couldn't control. Head over heels went Jack Smith for the Bulldogs. Pierce reverses course to the far side. Anthony Mangini. And now back to Pierce behind the UMD goal. Mangini, he's had a good start to his freshman campaign for the Bulldogs. Moves the puck ahead. Livanovich controls for North Dakota. Gets the puck back now from his partner, Keaton Pearson. Let's go Bulldogs. The chant from the Amsoil Arena crowd urging the home team to give them another goal to cheer about and bring this game to within one shot. Entering the zone is Johnson. Out to the line, Albrecht. Stepping up, Goetz. He might have got the worst of that, but separated Albrecht from the puck. Now a long pass ahead. Sidestepping the attacker and drawing a penalty is McLaughlin, tripping on UMD. And North Dakota will head to its second power play of the game. Darian Goetz, the guilty party. And the Fighting Hawks will get a chance to, again, extend their lead to 3.
Yeah, Goetz, when North Dakota's controlling the puck the whole time, you're trying to get it from them, and that's what draws penalties. And Goetz got his leg out a little bit on that one, and they caught him for the trip. And again, now North Dakota back on the power play. And this is imperative UMD kills this one off, Zach.
Minnesota power play for North Dakota. Off the face-off, one of the Hawks lost his stick. That was McLaughlin. He's got it back. They hold the zone at the far side. Blake crashes down from the point. It comes free to Olsen, who will clear the zone and skate through center ice for UMD. He will just chip it in. Cut off at the pass by Garrett Pike. Pike has it now, the transfer from Alaska. Across the UMD line they come. It's taken away by UMD's Carter Loney, and he'll slide it all the way down. Giving chase now for UMD is Mangini. Staples Pike to the wall, but the puck free and in the hands of the captain, Reese Gaber. Mangini and Pike still tied up way back behind the goal line of North Dakota. No calls coming, and they're both free. 60 seconds to go in the man advantage. Across it comes for Blake. Livanovich, McLaughlin, Gaber, touch pass, top of the crease. Thiessen makes a couple saves. Cameron Berg on the doorstep. And now a nonchalant clear from Mangini is held at the UMD line. No, they say it just came out, but almost disaster for the UMD freshman.
Yeah, and he's really put in a nice effort almost every game. He's had a nice freshman year, but that was a little bit of a lazy play, a little sleepy there. Caught a break on that being offsides. I could have went the other way very easily. Got to bear down on pucks like that, Zach.
So far a decent kill for UMD, but still 45 seconds to go on the man advantage for North Dakota. Hard to believe this power play unit isn't operating at a higher percentage with all the talent they have. They've got just the 5 power play goals on the season, and when this unit starts to click, boy, watch out with the other offensive talent that they've had. They've actually got 3 shorthanded goals. They lead the country in shorthanded goals, but only 5 power play goals this year.
They're very good 5-on-5.
Britt goes off the post from a sharp angle.
They're very good 5-on-5 and shorthanded, so it's only a matter of time before this power play gets clicking, and then it's probably the last phase that this team's looking really to solve.
Johannes just inside the UMD line. Final 15 seconds here. Takeaway ahead for Spicer. Spicer, the breakaway to the backhand. Saved by Person. Boy, would that have been a fun moment for the Grand Forks native. The other way comes Johannes. A shot deflected and turned aside by Thiessen.
Nice move by Spicer. He opened up Person there to go 5-hole, and Person just kind of closed it at the last second to shut that down. I thought he had him beat, but beautiful save by Person. Nice play by Spicer to get loose on a shorty.
This is Gallatin, slows things down. We're back to 5-on-5. UMD has killed its second penalty of the game. And it's still a 2-goal deficit as we tick past the 5-minute mark. Here of period number 3. In the corner. Going to tire was James. Now he moves the puck to the point. Pearson to the far side. Weeb, long shot, and that got through to Thiessen. He got a piece of it, and it goes to the end wall. Now Pearson, a long shot, blocked by Gallatin. And he navigates some forecheckers to move it out to center ice. It comes to Dubinsky as both teams are changing. Ahead at the line, Perkins couldn't control cleanly. He and Weeb into the corner. To the far point, Bast holds for UMD. Walks to the middle now. Long shot, tipped in front. Person makes the save, and some pushing and shoving as Matthew Perkins was in front of the goal. Abram Weeb doesn't like the extra shot that the freshman gave him, but no penalties come, and a face-off in the North Dakota zone.
Well, North Dakota, we haven't talked about their D-corps very much tonight, but very solid. They've got good size back there, pretty formidable physically, and they move the puck very well. A lot of very easy outs for them, I should say. You know, we're not getting UMD's not getting a lot on the forecheck on this defense core for North Dakota. So again, you know, 8 newcomers. They seem to be settling in just fine back there on for Coach Brad Berry.
UMD wins the face-off. This is Bast. Works to the half wall, now into the corner. Still controls to the far side, tried to go to Olsen. Good stick from Smolik, knocked that away, and it comes back now to Garrett Pike, who goes off the glass, out to the line, held by Pionk. Gets it past Gaber, back to Pike it goes. Now Smolik. Pike. This time North Dakota will exit ahead for Blake. He comes back across the ice, Smolik. Chips it past an oncoming Olsen, but Pionk flips it back to the North Dakota line. 7 minutes gone in this third period. An exciting moment for UMD fans as Cole Spicer had a shorthanded breakaway, but Ludwig Persson closed the door for North Dakota, keeps this a 3-1 game. Now Livanovich sidesteps Mangini. Goetz pushes him to the wall. Three-on-two battle for it. Jamernick comes away with it, spins a centering pass. Losing his stick on that play was Mangini. It's wrapped around the boards and all the way down. That'll be an icing on UMD with 12:17 to go in a 3-1 game.
Yeah, there's no time to wait now at this point, Zach. You know, got to get some zone time in North Dakota's end. Just haven't been able to sustain it really for any length of time in this game. There's been a couple moments here and there, but really haven't been able to get anything going 5-on-5. Besides the power play, not a lot of pressure. That you know, there's maybe a couple tough saves for Persson, but overall, North Dakota's defense has done a great job in front of them, and UMD hasn't been able to get those second opportunities.
Another icing here on the Bulldogs. You saw on the screen this week's USCHO rankings. It's really from the frying pan into the fire for both these teams. North Dakota, its first road games of the year out east against Boston University, a top 10 team last weekend. UMD had Minnesota in a home and home. It doesn't get any easier as you get into NCHC play now for the rest of the year.
No, it doesn't. I mean, you know, UMD had Cornell on the road, a top 10 team, Minnesota, a home and home, and now North Dakota, and then you're into NCHC play. So it's not going to get any easier. It's going to be a grind the rest of the way, and you know, see if UMD can do something here in this last 12 minutes.
So far, the best chance of the period was Cole Spicer's. Ludwig Persson equal to that task. Through center ice, Perron. Perron tried to knife through the UMD defense, a bouncing puck. And Gallatin defends that for UMD. Now it's Johnson at the North Dakota line. Gets it as far as Logan Britt, who right now has the would-be game winner for North Dakota. He got the second one in a 3-goal first period for the visitors. Johnson fires it through the crease area. Comes to the far side, Dubinsky. He's canceled out by the check of Johannes. And now flip to center ice. No, it only gets as far as Gallatin. On the second effort, though, North Dakota will clear.
Well, if you're a North Dakota fan, Zach, you're kind of going, we're letting these guys hang around here tonight. It's 3-1. We haven't, North Dakota hasn't been able to quite put UMD away with that fourth goal. And, again,
this is Weeb walks down Main Street and a block shot for Pionk. The other way comes UMD's Olsen. Leaves for Lohheit at the line. He takes a big hit from Albrecht, and now it's Ness one-on-one with Luke Bast. Griffin Ness has his shot knocked away by Bast, and now a penalty coming to Bast as he shoved Ness to the ice, and the UMD crowd not going to like that. The Bulldogs to the penalty kill when we come back. My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. Tonight's Castle Danger Brewery check of the game belongs to UMD's Jack Smith with that hit in the corner. And now North Dakota to its third Minnesota power play of the game. A chance to make it a 4-1 score with less than half of the third period to go. Very important kill here for the home team. Blake across the blue line, knocked away by Loney, and a penalty coming now to North Dakota as Pike whistled for interference. I didn't see that, but it has all the smells of maybe a makeup call after that penalty on Luke Bass going to the break that UMD was unhappy with. Garrett Pike gets called for interference on that entry for North Dakota.
Well, now you've got a 4-on-4, and if you're behind by a couple goals, as much talent as North Dakota has, if you're Coach Scott Sandlin, you're definitely embracing a 4-on-4 opportunity where there's open ice and seemingly more scoring chances on the table. So, expect again, we've got McMenamin and Smith starting out here. I'm sure we're going to see Ben Steeves at some point as well. So great opportunity here for the Bulldogs to get within one.
90 seconds of 4-on-4, then a very abbreviated power play chance for UMD, assuming the manpower changes no more. We're past the halfway mark now at period number 3. Livanovic behind the net, defended by Dubinsky. Tries to stop at the half wall, blows a tire, the puck underneath him. Dubinsky and Gallatin whack at it there for UMD, now joined by a couple more guys in green. It comes to Gallatin, and now McMenamin behind the goal for the Bulldogs. 1 minute to go in the 4-on-4. Almost a turnover here. It is in front, and sweeping it on goal was James for North Dakota. The save made by Thiessen. Now Smith drives wide on Livanovic. Up the far side, Livanovic canceled him out. Those two go down in a heap. And now Livanovic won't get off Jack Smith. The crowd reacting to that. They're still tangled up in the North Dakota zone. And Pionk has to double back because Smith is in ahead of the play. The crowd really doesn't like that as Smith gets to the Bulldogs bench finally with 20 seconds to go in the 4-on-4. Now it's Olsen across the line, leaves for Pionk. Back to Olsen in the corner. Olsen spins away from Britt, who wrestles the puck away from him along the end board. Schmaltz for Gaber through center ice. 8.5 minutes to go as UMD will get Bast, and a short 25-second power play for the Bulldogs begins now. Short-handed, North Dakota controls in the offensive zone. Final 15 seconds, it won't amount to much for UMD as Olsen delays. The Bulldogs complete a line change. Now he starts forward. This is Spicer across the red line. He shoots it in. 8 minutes to go here in period number 3. And that puck up out of play. Pike is released. We're back to 5-on-5, and we'll go down one more time between the benches. Alexis.
Well, coming into this game, UMD currently ranked second in power play goals in the country. The only team that's above them is Michigan. In fact, Ben Steeves holds half of UMD's power play goals. While tonight he hasn't been able to put it away, he is the feed. He gets the assist off the only power play goal tonight from Luke Lohheit. You guys?
Off the face-off, Pike back to clear it. Chased by Biondi, and now Steeves has it in the near corner for UMD. Fights through the check now of Cameron Berg. Comes back to the point and cleared to center by Perron. He'll shoot it in. North Dakota very happy just to go zone to zone as they protect that 2-goal lead. Johannes centers in the crease. Perkins throws it to the corner. And they'll call a hand pass here on UMD. A faceoff coming in the Bulldog zone with 7.5 minutes to go.
Bulldogs are running out of time here tonight with 7.5 left. It's kind of now or never to get some push down in the North Dakota end, and keep an eye also. We're getting to that time where with 2 goals down, how early would Sandlin look at pulling the goalie? We're a little early for that, obviously, but we'll keep an eye on that. But no, first start here is to win this draw, get an out, and get down to the other end. So this North Dakota defense, though, has just been so formidable down there.
Well, UMD with just 4 shots in this third period so far. They obviously had the one really good scoring chance, Cole Spicer, the shorthanded breakaway, but other than that, they really haven't put North Dakota under much duress. Centering pass from Gaber, comes back to the point, Pearson. He wraps it around behind. Olsen tries to win the race with Livanovich. He does, and will sweep it out to center ice. It's picked up there by Lohheit. Has Bast with him. This is Bast who fires block shot by Pearson, and into the goaltender went Livanovich. Maybe help from the UMD captain Lohheit. Blake has his pocket picked by Spicer. Back to the point, Goetz. He'll just go off the high glass. A bouncing puck behind the goal now. Controlled by Lohheit. To the near point, it's Bast. Olsen, high in the zone. Gives to Spicer. A high cycle here for UMD. Across for Olsen. Now Spicer, high slot. He fires. It hit bodies in front and deflects to Gaber, who controls and now clears for North Dakota. McLaughlin, a long shot. Gloved and held by Thiessen. Will step aside. 3-1 North Dakota. My 9 Sports, the Gray TV Network. Well, Time and North Dakota, both the enemy right now of UMD. They trail 3-1 in the closing minutes of regulation here in Game 1 between UMD and North Dakota, the NCHC opener for both teams. As we continue on, just over 6 minutes to go here in this third period. A bouncing puck into the North Dakota zone. Bettens has it at neutral ice. He'll shoot it in. It gets through the goaltending of Person, and now it's Bast to the far side. Goetz walks into the circle. A save by Person as he sprawled out. Might have hit Pike in front of him. Now Bettens and Johnson fight for it there for UMD. Pike, who might have blocked that shot for North Dakota, struggling a bit. Now we'll get to the bench with that clear from the Fighting Hawks. Sent back in immediately by UMD's Goetz. Far side, whacked at by Britt. Controlled by Smith. Top of the circle, Johnson. He couldn't control. And chasing it in his own end now is UMD's Joey Pierce. Sidesteps one forechecker. Out to center ice it goes. Ahead at the line, Mangini. Can't corral the bouncing puck. Defended by Zmolik. To the point, Pionk. Far side, Pierce. Tried to fire. Comes to Mangini. He scores! What a bounce for UMD. Anthony Mangini has the Bulldogs within 1. It's 3-2.
Well, Joey Pierce played that from the point, and he got a fortunate bounce. It lands right to Mangini, but I got to tell you, Pierce has had a really solid game tonight. It's great to see him get rewarded on that one. And Bulldogs back into this thing, 3-2.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Anthony Mangini, Johnny on the spot, his third goal as a Bulldog. And we've got a race to the finish with 5:16 to go here in the third period.
Well, Pierce made a really strong move in his own end to get an out. He's just had a real strong game tonight. He's had a couple big hits and kind of an unsung hero tonight for the Bulldogs. I thought he's been their most solid defenseman. So, again, great to see him get rewarded. And, this building coming alive just a bit here with 5 minutes left.
Livanovich holds it the far side. Strong hit along the near boards by Johannes. Fighting for it is Pierce. Puck pops high in the air, and Pionk now controls for UMD. He'll flip to center ice. Not far enough for icing as Pearson forced to play it there for North Dakota in the corner. Biondi with the takeaway. Gives to Pionk. He walks into the circle. Delays a shot. Shoulder saved by Person. 4.5 minutes to go. UMD down by a goal. Somehow they've stayed in it and clawed their way back. And they're within one shot at a tie hockey game. Olsen in the circle. Drives wide. Centers to Lohheit. Saved by Person. Lohheit didn't get much on the redirect. And Person covers for North Dakota. A face-off coming now in the Fighting Hawks zone. Let's take this time with the game heating up to remind you the very best in UMD gear available right now at UMD stores. They've got jerseys, sweatshirts, t-shirts, caps, and much, much more. The store open 7 days a week on campus on Kirby Drive, or you can shop online anytime, anywhere at umdstores.com.
Well, a push here by UMD, and that was actually, I think, Spicer who couldn't quite get anything on that one. A little good coverage by the North Dakota defenseman, but definitely a push here by the Bulldogs. They've got some momentum, and we'll see how the Sioux can hold up. The Fighting Hawks can hold up to this.
Off to face off in on Person. Lohheit drives to the top of the crease, and the Hawks don't like that. So we'll do the face off again in the North Dakota zone.
Face off very big at this point. Obviously, Zach, with 4:09 left. You can bet UMD's been pretty good on draws lately, and if Spicer can win this one, it's going to help with puck possession and getting some more attack on the North Dakota goaltender.
Amsoil Arena trying to make some noise, urging its Bulldogs to score the equalizer. Lohheit off to face-off controlled, but North Dakota chips it back out into the UMD zone, and it's icing far enough just across the goal line with exactly 4 minutes to go in the third period. Of note, UMD challenged that Louis Jamernick goal in the opening period, so Scott Sandlin without his timeout, which could become significant as we get into the closing minutes here.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, I think it was definitely a challenge worth making, but now we're in a one-goal game, and it's always nice to have that timeout where you can get the lineup out on the ice that you want, but all of a sudden a little more jump, so see if UMD can keep the push going here.
Olsen knocks down that clearing attempt, wraps it around to the far side. Lohheit hunting there for UMD. Comes out to the slot and flipped to center ice by North Dakota. Jamernick couldn't corral the puck, and Spicer turns it the other way. Olsen at the line, flips it past into the corner. Lohheit crashes into the boards. Gallatin down from the point. He holds the zone for UMD. Takes a hit from Zmolik. Those two tied up in the far side corner. 3.5 minutes to go. Start to keep an eye on Matthew Thiessen in the UMD goal. When does Scott Sandlin get him off for the extra attacker? Spicer to McMenamin. The point, long shot. That's blocked in front. Now another long shot, another block in front. This time by Pike, who ices the puck for North Dakota. Another face-off in the Hawks zone. 3:09 to go.
Well, the crowds woke up here a little bit. The UMD's woke up, and momentum sure is an interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, all of a sudden, looks like we've got a timeout.
Timeout taken by Brad Berry in North Dakota. After that icing, they had a group of guys at the end of a long defensive shift. Since the Mangini goal, UMD has spent a lot of time in the North Dakota zone, and it's just so easy when you have a 3-0 lead to kind of get comfortable, fall into a less aggressive state of mind. But now North Dakota finds itself protecting a 1-goal lead in the closing minutes here. UMD has done this a couple times that we've seen, where you open up an early lead and, like you say, don't get the next goal or two to really put them away and let that team claw their way back into the game.
Yeah, maybe watching this from a little bit of a UMD-centric view. We talked about the North Dakota fans watching back in Grand Forks, and they've been living on the edge with that 3-1 lead. They've had plenty of times, chances to put this game away, have failed to do that, and now they find themselves kind of in a meat grinder here, 3-2, with a few minutes left. So, going to be a very entertaining last few minutes of this game for sure, for the opening night for these teams in the NCHC.
for Scott Sandlin, you get a chance now to talk to your guys. Both teams get a rest, but Scott Sandlin's group obviously chasing that equalizing goal, so you get a chance to draw some things up. By this point in the year, you've worked on your 6-on-5 scenarios, and UMD 3 minutes to try and get level in a hockey game that in the first period looked like North Dakota might run away with.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, here we talk about draws again. Here we go, a big draw. And
North Dakota wins it into the corner. It's out to center ice, past Dubinsky. Now Jamernick on the backhand, saved by Thiessen. And now the faceoff comes in the UMD zone with 3 minutes to go.
Well, let's talk about Thiessen just for a moment. I mean, he's kept them in this thing. It was 3-0 in the first period, and he's shut the door since. And hasn't given North Dakota anything. So, here we sit with 3 minutes even on the clock, 3-2 game. So, Thiessen's a huge part of that.
Yeah, it's certainly not by lack of effort that North Dakota didn't get that fourth goal. Matthew Thiessen has made some wonderful saves. Ludwig Persson, on the other hand, who knows how things change, but he made some saves when it was 3-0 and 3-1 that have maybe changed the course of this game as well. These goaltenders have, at times, put on a show in both directions. Mangini, the guy who made it 3-2, back in his own zone now for UMD. Chase from behind the goal. He has to leave it there for Dubinsky. 2.5 minutes, Dubinsky through center ice. Headman pass knocked away by Berg, who just slaps it back into the UMD zone. North Dakota going to be very careful and make UMD earn every inch as they come through neutral ice. 1-2-2 as they defend the neutral zone. Lowhite will flip it in. Spicer gives chase. First one there is Pearson. It comes behind the net. This is Olsen. To the point, Pionk. Thiessen to the bench now for UMD. Extra attacker out for the Bulldogs. Pionk to the far side. Missed Olsen. It comes to the far boards. Flip to the point. Steves holds there for the Bulldogs. Down the far boards it goes. Olsen in the corner. Lowhite. Steves, far side circle. 6-on-5 for the Bulldogs. Pionk to Steves. Wanted to fire and doesn't. Pionk top. Gallatin. Lowhite in the corner. Tried to go across for Steves, and that's picked off by North Dakota. Out to center ice they come, and a penalty called on UMD as Gaber hauled to the ice, crossing the defensive line for North Dakota. 1:32 to go, and the Fighting Hawks to the power play, up 3-2.
Well, Lowhite tried to squeeze one through, not really a box in North Dakota, but they had it pretty tightly packed into the slot. And it was picked off by North Dakota, and they were able to get it out and draw the penalty. So
Aaron Pionk, the guilty party, pretty much had to drag Gaber down because he was going to clear the zone and probably score to make it a 4-2 game. So this at least gives UMD a puncher's chance with 1:32 to go. Right now 5-on-4 with Thiessen back in the goal. As soon as the Bulldogs get possession, they'll get him off and try to play 5-on-5. But advantage squarely North Dakota at this point. They win the faceoff.
North Dakota's going to try and kill clock here. Have two defensemen on the ice. Keep that third guy high and just control the puck. You know, the Bulldogs, if they can get a hold of the puck, they can ice it and then get that fifth attacker on with an icing. So
Livanovich to the far side, Perron. No real need to shoot. Livanovich does, and Thiessen makes the save, fighting for position in front. A couple of players, the puck into the corner, and now back to Livanovich. It comes back out to center ice with 60 seconds to go. Brad Berry might have a talk with Livanovich. That's a good shot in normal circumstances. Maybe not this one when you're trying to ice a 3-2 game.
Yeah, exactly.
Tied up in the corner. Pops free now. This is Spicer for UMD. His pass behind Olsen. Turnover now. Berg, a fire. He scores! Cameron Berg, icing on the cake. A power play goal. North Dakota's going to hold on for the NCHC win here in Duluth.
Well, and that's a play Spicer's got to try and make something happen with, under 45 seconds to go. Tries to make the backhand pass. It's picked off. And, a beautiful goal by Berg. He buried it and made no mistake about it. And the wrong guy you want to give the puck to, but just a little bit of an errant pass by Spicer. Had the right idea, but just a little behind and ends up going the other way.
Too little, too late in the end for UMD. And North Dakota 39 seconds away from an NCHC opening win. 3 points to the Fighting Hawks here in Duluth. And the rally will come up just a bit short for the home team Bulldogs.
Well, and I think looking at that 6-on-5, I think Coach Sandlin's going to, the message on that is going to be you need to shoot the puck on that. I mean, too much puck control on that. Get it to the net. You've got a lot of bodies on the ice. That's where you want to get traffic in front. And UMD showed some fight tonight. Didn't cash it in after 3-0. So
puck tied up along the far boards. Final 10 seconds will tick away here on Friday night. A valiant effort for the home team, but North Dakota wins it 4-2. The final here on Friday night. We will step aside and bring you back, wrap things up here from Amsoil Arena. North Dakota the win, 4-2 the final over UMD here on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. The comeback falls just short here at Amsoil Arena for UMD as the Bulldogs fall to the visiting North Dakota Fighting Hawks 4-2. The final here on Friday night, game 1 of 2 in this NCHC series for these two teams. Right now, our Alexis Bass is joined on the ice by UMD Associate Head Coach Adam Kraus.
Earlier this week, Scott said that he wanted to see improvement in the area of quickness of shooting pucks. How would you grade that tonight for your team?
I thought it was a step in the right direction in second and third period for sure, but obviously when you spot 3 goals, you're one of the best teams in the country. It's tough to come back on that game.
What do you have to say about the way and the effort that your team did respond after that first period in the second and third period, finding a little bit of life?
Yeah, it's obviously a huge positive. You know, it could go one or two ways after 3-0, so the guys responded the right way, and I thought we made a push, and so definitely a positive to come out of it.
What are things that you feel like lacked tonight that you want to make sure your team brings tomorrow to force the sweep here in Amsoil tomorrow?
I would say just puck management. Our puck management and puck decisions, I think against a good team like this, especially in transition, they're going to create enough on their own, and so for us feeding that offensive game they have is obviously detrimental.
Thanks, Adam. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Guys?
Yeah, thanks very much, Alexis. The old adage in college hockey or sports in general is there are no moral victories, but UMD has to look at some of the positives because you've got another game against this team in this building coming tomorrow night.
Yeah, they were teetering on the edge where you could have, you're down 3-0, and obviously that game could have gotten out of hand, and it didn't. And they showed a lot of push tonight, a lot of fight, hung in there. Thiessen particularly well, but there were some real bright spots. Joey Pierce, Mangini, et cetera. We could go on, but and they had a chance at 3-2 with their goalie pulled and had great puck possession. So I don't know. I think the coaching staff's going to look at positives and negatives from this game.
Some positives, but in the record books, it's a loss, 4-2. North Dakota gets the win. They get the 3 points in the league standings. We will take another break, bring you back to talk more about the game, wrap things up here from Amsoil Arena on My9 Sports, the Gray TV network. 4-2 the final. North Dakota gets the Friday night win here in Game 1 against UMD in the regular season NCHC opener for both teams. Zach Schneider, Jason Watt back with you here at Amsoil Arena, and give the visitors all the credit in the world. They were opportunistic in the first period. They built that 3-0 lead. You could make arguments, I think, that UMD was the better team at points during the second and the third periods, but in the end, their goaltender, Ludwig Persson, that defensive core with their block shots, they did enough to protect that lead that they built.
They did, and it kind of looked like a workmanlike road North Dakota win, didn't it? It just looked like that's the recipe Bradbury would have drawn up for this game is what I think he saw tonight. Get out to an early lead, take the crowd out of it, and kind of suffocate UMD the rest of the game. Have timely goaltending. I think if you're Bradbury, you might have wanted that fourth goal to really put the game away. That's probably the only gripe I could see if I'm in North Dakota's locker room is, hey, let's finish teams off. But otherwise, really an impressive performance by North Dakota tonight.
One of the special things about college hockey is that we get to see these same two teams battle again tomorrow night, and it's really tough all across college hockey, but especially in the NCHC, to sweep a team, especially on the road. That's what North Dakota will be trying to do tomorrow night, 6 o'clock. These same two teams here at Amsoil Arena. A doubleheader for you on My9 Sports earlier in the day. We've got the UMD football team on the road against Mankato, and then next week, the men's hockey team will be on the road to St. Cloud State, and we will have those games for you as well here on My9 Sports. So if you're UMD, North Dakota, whether it's a win or a loss tonight, you have to hit the reset button and get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, you do. You know, every night in this league is a different night. It's a cliche, right? But it's true. North Dakota's got to come back and play in this building again, and UMD's not going to want to get swept in their own building against a league rival. So tomorrow night should be a heck of a hockey game, be a lot of fun, and definitely tune in if you're out there watching. You don't want to miss tomorrow night.
Cliches wouldn't be cliches if they weren't true. So tomorrow night it is for UMD and North Dakota. We hope you can join us again then. But until then, thanks for joining part of your Friday night with us. I'm Zach Schneider alongside Jason Watt, Alexis Bass, our producer Tom Hansen, our director tonight Jordan Sherman. North Dakota gets the win 4-2. The final. We hope we can see you again for tomorrow's finale an hour earlier, 6 o'clock, hockey fans. Until then, so long.